Welcome everybody to Brazilian Kitchen. My name is Pedro and I'm your host for today's recipe. We brought you a very traditional recipe that is made with only 5 ingredients and a lot of eggs. It's sweet, it's creamy, it's beautiful. Today you guys are gonna learn how to make quindim or egg custards. This dessert is very common to find in bakeries and we can usually find in 2 styles. Portion size, like small ones that we're gonna make today, or family style that you bring home where you have the afternoon tea with your family, with your friends, and you eat it alongside with a nice cup of coffee. When we were researching the history of the quindim, we found a very similar dessert that is made in Portugal, and we found out that it was brought to Brazil, but since in Brazil at the time we couldn't find almonds so easily, they just substituted it for coconut, and this is what is famous in Brazil, the coconut version. But if you go to Portugal, you're gonna find the almond version. For this delicious recipe, you're gonna need 125 grams of coconut, 250 grams of sugar, 30 grams of melted butter, 9 egg yolks, and half a cup of coconut milk. Are you guys ready? Let's start. So we're gonna start by mixing all the ingredients but the egg yolks. The sugar, the coconut milk, and finally the melted butter. Now we mix everything together. We're gonna keep mixing until everything is uniform. Now we're gonna cover it with the plastic. We need to be sure that it's touching the surface. We're gonna set aside for 1 hour. We're gonna start cracking the eggs and separating the yolk, but when you open it, be careful and smell it to see if it's bad, because if it's bad, you're gonna be wasting a lot of eggs and we don't want that, okay? So here we go. Guys, I still have 6 more eggs to crack, and that is more than enough time for you to go and subscribe to the channel, okay? I'll be waiting right here. Don't forget to also like the video if you haven't already. Guys, we're putting the whites in a jar here because we're gonna freeze it. It can go into the freezer for up to 3 months, and we're gonna use it in another recipe. I'm gonna use a fork to poke a hole into the yolk skin so we can get all of the contents and not any of the skin, because the skin is what gives the egg smell and we don't want that in our dessert. And then I'm gonna gently press it so everything can get out of it. Be careful when we're scraping the strainer with the spoon because we don't want any of the skin of the yolk there. We're now waiting for 2 things to happen. We're waiting on the first part, which is in the fridge, and we're waiting for the yolks to get down the strainer. Now we're gonna grease our baking pot, and we're gonna use a lot of butter so it will come out of the pan easily and not break. And also we're gonna use sugar to make it very shiny and beautiful. Make sure to have everything really covered in butter. Don't leave any single part out. Guys, we're now 15 minutes away from that 1 hour that we started before. Now it's a good time to start the oven at 350 Fahrenheit and to put some water to boil. We're heating the water because we're going to use a water bath to bake our quindim. The 1 hour is up. We're going to take it out of the fridge, mix everything together and put it to bake. Our quindims are in the oven now, and the water is up to the half of the pots that we're using to bake them. And the reason we put it to the half is because it's going to start to bubble up and some of the water might go inside the quindim, and we don't want that. So we're going to wait for 40 minutes and we're going to check back. Now we're going to test if our quindim are ready. So I'm going to use a stick. You see, it came out clean, so it's good. I guess you guys cannot see this, but believe me, it came out clean. We're just gonna take it out of the baking tray and put it here to cool down a bit until we can take it out of the mold. If we take it out when it's too hot, it's gonna break. It's time to take our quindims out of the mold, and for that we're gonna use a knife. We're gonna put it only at the top where the crust is. We're not gonna go all the way to the bottom because this will ruin the appearance of our quindim. So just until the crust is loose and we're good to go. Luckily, this one was very easy to take out of the mold, but if yours is not coming out so easily, you can just heat the bottom part for a little while on the stove top and it will come out easier. 40 minutes in the oven, 30 minutes to take it out of the mold, 2 hours in the fridge to cool down, and our quindim is finally ready. Look at this, guys. It's amazing. Look how shiny it is. It's beautiful. Look at the two different textures that we're gonna have here. On the top, there's no coconut. All the coconut went up when it was baking. So now everything is in the bottom, and this is gonna be very, very crunchy, very good. And the top part, it's gonna be very creamy, very smooth. You guys wanna see how it looks inside? Looks amazing, doesn't it? So guys, if you try this at home, don't forget to tag us so we can repost it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and to like this video. Thank you, and até logo!